Welcome, FamilyAffaires.com contributor Dr. Dan Gottlieb. Hi, Dr. Dan.
Hi, Roseann.
Dr. Dan, today I want to talk to you about caregiving, but I want to talk about caregiving when someone is at the end of their life.
Yeah, that's more of an issue now as, you know, my cohorts, the baby boomers age, 45, 50, 60, that age group, our parents are aging and dying. And the question is, how do we find compassion for someone we love at the end of their lives? And how do we find compassion for ourselves in that process?
I think it's a very difficult thing to be a caregiver and to deal with the end of life issue, because besides what it's bringing up for the person who's the person at the end of the life, it brings up a lot of things for the person who's caregiving. It can be, past issues with the relationship. It can bring up anger. It can bring up sadness. So I think there's a big struggle there.
One of my great regrets is when my mother died. It was sudden death. I mean, she was an older woman. It was time. But she died suddenly, and I raced down to the hospital. It was in Atlantic City where I grew up. And there she was, a nurse had the forethought, the wisdom to ask if I wanted to be with her. And I went back there, and there she was on the table or bed. And the nurse said, "Would you like me to put her hand in yours?" And she did, and I'm watching these two dead hands, neither one of which could move. And I thought about all the times in my life that those hands have held each other. When I was dependent on her, crossing streets, and then when she was dependent on me. And then I thought about her life, this woman who was born in the early part of the 20th century, what her life was like when her father told her she couldn't accept the scholarship for college because girls didn't go to college.
Right.
When her life had to be small and her dreams were big. And my regret is that I hadn't held that hand and done that before she died. So that's what I wish. Hold their hand. Look in their eyes. Try to feel what it feels like in their skin. What's it feel like to have your life? What's it feel like to be dying?
I think what happens so many times, and I'm sure you would agree, is that caregivers will think about how what's happening to you is affecting me, what it's doing to me, when actually we should be reversing the focus.
No.
No?
I disagree.
Why?
It's got to be both.
Yes.
Or else it's not a relationship.
True.
What is it doing to you?
Right.
And
Acknowledge it.
And one of the things that we carry with us is those emotions that don't get acknowledged in the process. Yeah, acknowledge what it's doing to you. Your grief, your loss, your helplessness. Acknowledge that. Acknowledge whether your heart's closed or open. Acknowledge everything that's going on inside of you. And if it's appropriate, share it.
Great advice.
It's a relationship.
Wonderful advice.
Thank you.
Thank you.